Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to a late edition of Cricket Openings this Sunday, unfortunately, due to my other commitments. But well, as usual, the Cricket Happening show on this Sunday is going to feature the Champions League T20 2013, where there was something very eventful which happened. One is in the first match, that is the 14th match which was played, and that was the match between the Lions and Otago, and it went on to the super over. In fact, even the super over, even after playing the super first, they played out where both the teams were tied at a score of 167, and then with 14 runs to win, Lions and Otago were once again tied even after the 1 over eliminator which was played, and not only that, and then finally the match was decided by the maximum number of fours hit, and that went to Otago, and Otago preserved their winning streak that they have been having of 15 wins, and they preserved it. But what a match it was! What a thorough entertainment here at the Savai Mansingh Stadium, Jaipur, for all the spectators, and that too on a public holiday. It was one of those matches one would have really loved to see, because it was really it was really being a seesaw battle, and in the end Quinton de Kock couldn't get the second run, and it was all over with Otago on the basis of one boundary hit getting home. Not only that, this was the first super over in the T20 Championship 2013, and what a super over we had here. We couldn't have asked for a better match on a public holiday in Sunday in India. Well, so that is something that I'll be talking about. And then there's one more Indian team which actually it became the second team to actually enter the semi-finals after Chennai Super Kings yesterday, and that was Rajasthan Royals, who actually scorched the Perth Scorchers, I would say, because Rajasthan Royals bowled out the Perth Scorchers from 120, and Rajasthan Royals absolute walk in the park, winning the match by 9 wickets, and Perth Scorchers almost their chances have diminished as far as this. I'm sure now Perth Scorchers' chances are absolutely gone as far as the T20 Champions League 2013 are concerned. But Rajasthan Royals became the second team to get into the semi-finals of the Champions League T20. So let's look at this match between Lions and Otago, which all started with Lions actually making 167 for 4, and mainly thanks to 109 runs. The Lions' share of 167 was scored by a talented batsman, Quinton de Kock. He's the wicketkeeper of the team too, and he's a left-hander, but the strokes that he played was played with lots of force. In fact, he was a bit shaky when he actually started, but slowly he started settling down, and after his 50, one could see the real talent of Quinton de Kock come to the fore, as he handled the bowlers excellently by hitting the short balls for boundaries, pulling well, and also what I said was he was using a lot of power to get the strokes going, and he was a picture of absolute picture of absolute pleasure for everybody, as everyone watched Quinton de Kock unveil his strokes, and that was the precise reason the Lions score reached 167 for 4 after 20 overs, with Quinton de Kock contribution being an unbeaten 109 of just 63 deliveries, 10 fours and 5 sixes. And we have all known about the talent that Quinton de Kock possesses. He's a pretty young guy, and the way he played, well, it was really a treat to watch. And he really went after the Otago bowlers once he reached his 50, and he really made things count for the Lions by putting 109 runs, 9 unbeaten runs. Dewson made 17 of 24 balls with 1 6. Bavuma made 13. Alro Peterson was out for a duck. Symes was out for 20 of 15 balls with 1 6. And Pretorius was not out on 2. 167 for 4 of 20 overs for Lions, batting first. Bowling figures, well, Butler none for 27 of 3. Macmillan 4 overs no maiden, 1 for 23. Neil Wagner 3 overs 1 for 25. Nisham bowled 3 overs for 28. Nathan McCallum 4 overs no maiden, none for 31, and it was Nick Beard who bowled 3 overs, leaking 31 runs and taking 2 wickets. As far as the Otago innings were concerned, well, it was not so easy for them. They lost a big wicket of Neil Broom, who, as you know, the other day scored a record century in the T20. But today, Neil Broom was dismissed early by Idan O'Reilly, who actually took his wicket for 6. And after that, it was pretty tough going with Hamish Rutherford there, but they lost McCullum pretty early for 5, and that made the score 27 for 2. Then there was a partnership between Hamish Rutherford, who was playing his strokes, along with De Border, who was actually switching a lot. In fact, he couldn't really connect. He was not getting his timing right, even though he contributed 32 of 37 with 4 fours. Was not so convincing. And Hamish Rutherford also contributing 32 of 21 balls with 3 fours and 2 sixes. And then Rahane Samson was there, but Rahane Samson was when Rahane Samson joined Jay Neesham. Now Neesham was the star of the show, who actually was there along with Rahane Samson, and the match was really going down to the wire with an excess of probably 12 runs required per over. And the way Neesham played, it was absolutely, even though he made an unbeaten 52 of just 25 deliveries with 2 fours and 4 sixes, and he was a real sight there, because what he did is he really showed. When I seen that Neesham is definitely capable of playing the big strokes. We saw him chipping in, but today he got an opportunity where he had to prove himself, and that's what he precisely did. He did it in wonderful fashion, getting little support from all the tailenders, but he took it on his own to start slamming the bowling. He did it. He hit Sotsobe for a 6. He went after Sohail Tanvir, hit him for a 6, and it was such a match that Neesham was the person who actually got that innings. I would say full credit to Neesham for playing a blinder there, an unbeaten 52 of 25 balls with 2 fours and 4 sixes, and he was looking a perfect batsman, and he looks to be a very good all-rounder in the making, and he contributed an unbeaten 52 runs of 25 balls with 2 fours and 4 sixes. And as I said, the match went down to the wire, and then finally the match ending in a tie with Neesham on 52 and 167 for Sohail Tanvir was bowling the last over. But well, probably Lions could have won the match, but there was a slight, not a slight, it was a very costly miss, because what happened was the keeper Quinton de Kock of the final ball, which was bowled by Sohail Tanvir, the first ball was hit for a 6, the final over, that is 20th over, which was bowled to Neesham. But finally the new batsman, they could not actually get the second run. So that's the reason it was tied, because it was a fumble. In fact, Lions would have won the match if the wicketkeeper Quinton de Kock had collected it cleanly. Then probably there would have been no super over and Lions would have won the match. But well, it was not to be. Quinton de Kock unfortunately misfielded. He couldn't really gather the ball properly, and that resulted in a tie. And Neesham, what an innings it was. Bowling figure: Sohail Tanvir 1 for 35 of 4, Itan Aroli 1 for 40, Sotsobe 4 overs 2 for 30. Villoven was very impressive with his bowling, 4 overs 1 for 23, 4 overs no maiden 2 for 28. And Villoven was so good that he had bowled 16 dot balls, but he came in for certain tap when he came into his second spell, when Neesham really handled him well. And after that, so as I said, once the match was the initial innings were tied, it went to the super over. And as far as the super over was concerned, it was the first to bat was Lions who actually batted first, and not Lions. In fact, it was Otago who actually batted first. And Otago, the first ball that Sohail Tanvir bowled to the super over was put put past the covers for 4. But after that, Sohail Tanvir stuck to a very good line by bowling good Yorkers and really and he was not allowing anything for Brendan McCullum to really hit, and that was very surprising, because Neesham took a single of the second ball, and once Brendan McCullum came to bat, he started going round the wicket, and it really worked, because the next 3 balls were all just 2 runs coming of that, and that too to keep Brendan McCullum quiet is something which has to be appreciated. But Brendan McCullum, then what he did, is that he used his power to convert a Yorker, which was bowled by Sohail Tanvir, the final delivery, and sent it soaring into the skies over wide long off for a six. And so that enabled the Otago Volts to get to a score of 13 runs. Because as I said, so the first ball was hit for a 4, the last ball was hit for a 6, and that meant that they required 14 to win. And this is what happened in the eliminator. So now, but let me tell you, Lions started off in in a very wonderful fashion, as Quinton de Kock was at the other end, and the bowling was Brendan McCullum actually passed over the ball to Neesham because he thought that Neesham is having a good day. So that's the reason he gave it to him. I thought it was the right way to go. In fact, Neesham bowled the first delivery, and it was hit over cover for 4 by de Kock. And Quinton de Kock, the second delivery, it was something which was not a good delivery from Neesham, which was on his legs, and he swung him over deep square leg for another 6. So from 13 runs, the score already 10 runs were taken off 2 balls, and probably one would have definitely thought that Lions are going to win this match. But the next ball that de Kock got, he actually took a single, and then the equation came down to 3 of 3 balls, and which was possible. But well, Neesham actually got the wicket of Symes. Symes trying to hit Neesham straight, but only managed to actually sky the ball up in the air. Brendan McCullum taking the catch, and suddenly there was pressure on Lions with 2 balls to go. They required 3 runs, and de Kock was at the other hand. And now what happened was that Neesham bowled to de Kock the 5th delivery, and de Kock took a single. So that brought a new batsman, Pretorius, to the crease. Now Pretorius was at the crease, so now that was something interesting. 2 runs to win, 1 to tie, and 2 to win. And Pretorius, it was Neesham was bowling to Pretorius, the final delivery, and what happened was it was a full toss ball, which was hit to deep mid wicket, and de Kock had already come to the other end. Returns while coming back. I mean, the full toss was hit to deep mid wicket, and they went for the second run. But de Kock, de Kock was just running, and what happened was both of them were stranded midway on the pitch, and that was it. Otago, even though Otago actually, the Brendan McCullum actually put in the throw, and it was all over. It was a run out of the final delivery, and Pretorius was run out, and that's it. That was it. The super over. Even though the super over ended in a tie, but as I said, look at what's the outcome. It had to be decided, even though the super over ended in a tie, it had to be decided by the maximum number of 4s hit, and that went into Otago's hands, and Otago thus by a mere boundary they actually were declared victors, and Neesham was named man of the match. But what a match we had, what a super over we had, and this was something absolutely splendid. Well, so since I had to cover a lot on this 14th match, the 15th match is going to be very brief. There's nothing to really talk about as far as Rajasthan Royals, as I said, became the second team in the Champions League T20 to enter the semi-finals, and Rajasthan Royals, they inserted the Perth Scorchers in. The Perth Scorchers were the ones who actually batted first, and Perth Scorchers were routed for 120. They were all out for 120. They really struggled against the bowling, especially against the bowling of Pravin Tambe, who did well the other day. 4 overs no made and 2 for 17 from, but Kevon Cooper was the man who really picked up the wickets and used his Yorker to good effect, and that fetched him 4 overs no made and 18 runs and 4 wickets. 1 over for 7 runs for Stuart Binney, 3 overs 1 for 23 for Watson, 4 overs 2 for 16 for Faulkner, 2 overs none for 22 for Vikram Malik, Maneria 2 overs none for 11, and Perth Scorchers never really got going, with nobody able to go to a big score. The highest score was Adam Vokes, who made 27 of 21 balls with 3 fours, and it was pretty tough going for them. In fact, Simon Katich was absolutely fooled by a delivery from Tambe. He actually slipped in the googly when he saw Simon Katich advancing forward, and Sanju Samson, the wicketkeeper behind the stumps, did the rest. He was gone for 12. Liam Davis making 18 of 12 balls with 3 fours. Ashton Egger making 10 of 11 balls with 2 fours. Katich, the captain, making only 12 of 18 balls with 2 fours. 27 of 21 balls with 3 fours for Adam Vokes, the highest scorer. Cartwright made 5. Turner made 11, Triffitt was out for 2, Parrish was out for 2, Many for 2, Bendoff was the one who actually stayed till the end to play out the entire 20 overs to take Perth Scorchers to 120 all out. As far as Rajasthan Royals were concerned, it was an absolute walk in the park for Rajasthan Royals, as the start was not good. In fact, they lost the captain Rahul Dravid pretty early with a peach of a delivery coming in from Bendoff. He actually had a very good delivery. It was a late swinging delivery, late in swinging delivery, which actually ripped open the middle stump of Rahul Dravid. He was walking both Bendoff for a duck, so they were 1 for 1 at that stage. But after that, Perth Scorchers couldn't do anything, as Ajinkya Rahane and Sanju Samson taking them to victory, with Ajinkya Rahane contributing an unbeaten 62 of 53 balls with 5 fours and 2 sixes, and Sanju Samson, the wicketkeeper, very impressive in his knock, playing the ball square of the wicket in a very wonderful fashion, and also really rotating the strike well and playing the strokes at times when it was needed, not really hurrying up with anything. And Sanju Samson was a picture of absolute composure, was very cool at the crease, and he also got an unbeaten 50 under his belt of 42 balls with 6 fours and 1 6. It was all over. Rajasthan Royals winning the match by 9 wickets, finishing at 121 for 1. The bowling figures: Bendoff 4 overs 1 for 28, Parrish 4 overs none for 28, Many none for 22 of 2.3. Michael Beer, the 4 overs none for 26, was lofted for 6s by Ajinkya Rahane, and Samson too did the same. Cartwright 1 over for 10 runs. Ashton Agar could bowl only 1 over for 6 runs, and Kevon Cooper of Rajasthan Royals was named man of the match. So there are 2 more matches which are coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's fixtures happens to be the 16th match which is coming up, which is between Titans and versus Trinidad and Tobago, which is going to be played at Ahmedabad. The 17th match, which will be between the Brisbane Heats versus Sunrisers Hyderabad at Ahmedabad. So these are the 2 fixtures which are coming up tomorrow. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, on this very note, your host Ram would like to end the cricket show for today, but promising you, as usual, your Cricket Happening show will be there on Monday as well. Until then, it's good night. Thank you.